Hello, my name is Darius, and today we're going to go over the Titan of the Depths, Titans of Runeterra adventure. So for this, the first completion you get 40 Nautilus fragments, and we're going to be doing this with a Bilgewater champion at 3 stars and no epic relics. The special rules for this are larger than life. Game start, both players gain 3 mana gems, both players' units and damaging spells are stronger, and 3 minus cost cards are more expensive. We also have the enemy nexus is tough, and we do have deadly starting at this 4-star adventure, which we haven't had previously. For this, we're going to be using Nami. If you do have epic relics, I think you're going to want to go with Chosen by the Stars, Hymn of Valor, and Hidden Tome. I think that'll help you get 1 round kills. Changed my mind, you don't have quite enough mana to get the first turn kill, so instead of Hidden Tome, maybe you want to use either Echoing Spirit or perhaps Chemtech Duplicator. That way you can double that Hymn of Valor when you're in play, and then you'll need to survive until round 3, and then you'll be able to win the game. Now, if you're not using epic relics, we're going to want to for sure use Chemtech Duplicator. Hymn of Valor is not necessarily the best if we're not using Chosen by the Stars here. That does vastly change the value of it. So I think what I want to do is something like this with the Chameleon's necklace. You would use Echoing Spirit here. This would also work if you're using epics. This is a very safe build. You can heal basically infinitely with it. Chameleon's necklace will give us a higher chance to draw Nami. We have Grand General's Counterplan that gets us more copies of Nami to play, and we have the Chemtech Duplicator here to double our spells. So this is what we're going to go with. Luden's Tempest or something, potentially another thing you could do. I don't know how impactful it's going to be. But let's get into it. And so one of the problems with Nami is she just kind of takes a long time to play because you're casting a lot of spells. This has gotten easier with the 4 times speed, so that should be good. And it takes shared mana flow here. I'm not sure how much it's going to impact our opponents, but it'll definitely help us. Having extra mana always being good. Also let us have Chemtech active from round 1, which is good, but isn't going to be game changing because our opponents will have an attack, so that's still something we have to watch out for. So I'm going to use Answered Prayer here. I think probably won't hurt us to cast it at 5. And you see Chemtech Duplicator is already active. And so our next spell that we cast is going to be duplicated an extra time. And so we're fine taking some damage here. Obviously we can't die. Dying would be incorrect. So we'll go ahead and I think blocking 2 is good. We're going to lose 29 hit points here. I am not at all concerned about that. And then, now that these cost 0, we can play them for free. Making the extra units is, I don't know, potentially a negative here, because it'll spread out our buffs from Nami's power a little bit more. Nami's power is that when you play a spell, grant +2/+1, I think, to the weakest other ally that isn't immobile. As you can see, we're spreading it there, and it could have all been on elusives instead. And then all being on elusives, obviously, would mean that we could just attack and win the game, and this way they're going to have 2 blockers, so it's going to be less good. I'll go ahead and prank their cards. Partially to get cards out of our hand, partially to make it harder for them to play them. These do 2 damage, so they're fine. They'll still damage the enemy nexus. And we still have more spells we can cast, but this looks like it's winning, so no reason to drag that out any longer. And that's basically how everything's gonna go. We're gonna take a lot of damage, and then we're gonna win the game instantly. Picked Pokey Stick there for the draw. Sandstorm also probably would have been fine. We'll take Dark Binding because that'll give us a stun, which will help. And if we can get cost reduction on Nami, that'll probably be pretty good, so we're gonna go for the champion item chest. And I'm gonna keep Wiggly Bullfish and also the Otterpuss here. This gives us 2 blockers, this gives us our win condition. I might open with Morgana here. Yeah, this is pretty scary. We can't kill him. We're gonna take 8, and then we're gonna take an amount that I can't math through. Let's see if the Otterpuss is enough. Yeah, so we're fine.
The quest is dangerous, but I will see it through.
And our hand being full is kind of a problem for what we're going for here, so I think I'm gonna Pokey Stick, which I know adds cards to our hand, but it's gonna be alright. Then we'll prank. Now our next spell is duplicated. And we want it to be Ebb, but it's gonna hit 3 times, so we need to get another card out of our hand first. And then these will also be duplicated, so we don't have... Actually, we might have the card space for it, it's fine. And these can all be played infinitely because Chemtech Duplicator gives us 1 extra spell mana back, so we get 2 spell mana back every time we cast it. And so here, we're either waiting for all of their units to die, or for our Abyssal Guard to get stronger than the enemy nexus. They don't have mana to play anything, they also don't have anything to play, so... I also could drop the Burblefish. It's elusive, so it's, you know, pretty good. Drop the Caustic Cask. It looks like we are out of spells. So at this point we do have to attack. And this should be fine. Like I said, these games are going to be long. But all you have to do is survive the first attack, and then you're cool. Don't mind an extra stun. And we do want cost reduction. We don't have it, but I'll take Overwhelm on Morgana. Allies have faded, should speed up the process a little bit. Lord Broadman's fairly difficult, and removing a card, while good, the spell's chest might have equal value to it, so we'll go to Thalassophobia. The one thing we have to avoid here is losing our units to the list. Usually the list only casts once, but depending on which version of it this is, it could cast twice. Yeah, so this is the one with Elixir of Sorcery. So we're going to want to not drop anything that we don't want to lose. I shouldn't have taken that pokey stick. I regret it. So I'm fine with 15 hitting it. That doesn't hurt us. And we can parlay that guy away. We do have Answered Prayer in hand, so that'll draw us Nami. So not having Nami in hand right now isn't super negative. But we also need to make sure that we have the ability to stun, because that's going to matter. Yeah, if we drop Morgana, the most likely thing that'll happen is they'll play the list. So we're going to use Answered Prayer here first. And they'll use the list on our Tentacle. And then we can drop Morgana.
You cannot break a shattered soul.
Now, they still have a list in hand, so they can use it again and kill Morgana. That is a thing that is likely to happen. I'm gonna kill Nami too here. Just kind of depends on what they decide, but we do have the 2 Dark Binding in hand, which will keep us safe. It does fill our hand, which is a problem. We also don't have a lot of spells right now. We can get some from Answered Prayer, that'll give us 2 draws of Nami. But we need to make some hand space first. And unfortunately what we had for hand space was Otterpusses, so those are gonna just eat up some of our buffing. So here I'm triggering Faded. And we're just going to trigger it on everything. We're not worried about our hit points because Morgana's going to hit for 30. And as you can see, we've done pretty good work on all of our opponent's creatures. They no longer have blockers, which means we can attack. And it takes Celestial Impact. Can remove any unit that might become useful at some point. We can also play it on round 2. Divine Draft with Brainworm playing twice means that we'll get rid of 2 cards from their hand, which does tend to be pretty good, but I don't know if it's better than just not taking a card. I lean towards just not taking a card here. Steel Tempest is also interesting to me. I think Pokestick has been more problematic than helpful, so I'm going to remove it. And we go into Darius, whose power is Hemorrhage. Round end, deal 1 to the player's Nexus for each unit the foe has. So we want to keep his number of units down, or at least acknowledge that he has those units, so that we make sure that we have more hit points than he's going to do in damage. We can open here with Morgana. The double curse they can't get rid of immediately, so we're going to take 3 damage here. And they'll probably spend mana to get rid of that curse, which is fine. Especially if they do it after they attack. And if we do it like this, we'll get some hit points back. And we'll get Nami on the board. So at this point we've won the game. It's just a matter of playing it out until the end. He could stun us. That is in his deck, so. I think I still need more board space. This will make a spell for us. Sure. Not board space, hand space is what I need. No, I think we're fine. So we'll get 2 back, so we're 1 card over. Might just have to live with that. I decided not to live with it and use Shakedown. Which will do damage to me, but it's not actually important. We can heal it back up anyway, and she grows because of the Focusing Crystal. And again, we're just triggering Faded on everything. And our hit points don't matter because Morgana's going to full heal us. Also, you know, our opponents are going to die. Kinda want to drop this Otter Puss. It's not going to change too much, but it will give us something to challenge with. Now, unfortunately, we do not have a winning amount of damage here. Not sure there's a way we can get to a winning amount either.
That doesn't scare me.
Feel my pain.
That is okay. I'm just gonna pass here rather than play all these cards. This is all easier with Echo and Spirit also, because you would draw more copies of Nami. Shadow Totem on Nami is interesting You do get double procs, but you also target yourself, which can be worse. So I'm gonna try to, I think, stay away from that for now. Arcane Knowledge is interesting. It'll draw a spell that might prove to be a negative though. So I'm gonna take Farsight Alteration, although Ancient Coin is actually very nice. But yeah, I think Farsight's correct. Not having Nami loses the game, so. Created cards cost 1 less. I don't think it actually matters. Explosive Finale should help though. We go into Minotaur Reckoner, who is actually very strong. It has infinite guile, so they can stun forever and they draw a card off of it, and it replenishes itself. So that is the main thing you have to worry about with it. You also, just have a giant unit on the board. Also, they have Pit Fighters, so round end, deal 4 to the player's stun units. Your units aren't going to be stunned. You didn't draw Morgana or the other thing, Wiggly Burblefish, so we're not going to have an easy out here. I think I'm just going to wait. Obviously if I get attacked here I lose the game, so that would be bad. Any 3 of them hitting me loses the game. They can stun the next thing I play, and then stun units, can't block. You can remove 1 unit, but that's not gonna change our lives here.
Let the tide carry you.
Guy has Overwhelm, but it doesn't super matter. Overwhelm is not gonna be our problem.
Pain must be felt.
So yeah, we just lose. Potentially I could have just tried to cast spells and kill him. That was probably the correct thing to do. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't do that. Probably could have gotten at least one thing off the board that way. We're gonna keep our Dark Binding.
I won't let my home be swallowed by darkness.
I know playing Nami opens us up to being stunned, but it's more or less fine.
I have found such beauty in mortality.
So we do have 1 Dark Binding here, so we'll live, and that's kind of all we need.
Ride the surging tide. Be still. Welcome anguish.
And aside from that, hand space would be nice, but that's not a thing that's going to happen.
Let the tide carry you. The Mirai will never know fear again. Truth binds you. Feel my pain. Ride the surging tide.
And then we do need to cast some spells to make sure that Nami lives
Let the tide
through the round.
rise with
It's
the
also just good to cast the spells.
Let the tide carry you. You will know suffering. Ride the surging tide. Let the tide carry you.
If we don't kill Minotaur Reckoner, so I think Nami's going to be stunned, which is not terrible.
Carry you. Rise with the surf. Let the tide carry you.
And since both these units have Overwhelm,
Surging tide.
we are going to be able to
Let the tide
hit
carry
through to the enemy nexus. And I don't think they have stuns at fast speed in this deck, so we should be fine there.
Rise with the surf.
This is what I should have done last time.
Let the tide carry you. Own your frailty. Welcome anguish.
I just got mentally overwhelmed. And was like, 80 damage? What can I do about that? We do have Ransom Riches, so if we double up on that we can remove it. Scribe of Sorrow is amazing. We'll go for this item chest. I think Jaull Hunters probably easier than Savage Reckoner for us. I think it would have been correct to keep Answered Prayers.
I have found such beauty in mortality. Embrace the current or be swept away. Rise with the surf. Ride the surging tide. I am the tide caller. I will drive back the darkness. Let the tide carry you. Rise with the surf. Let the tide carry you. Share in my curse. Rise with the surf.
Danger A. Set the hooks.
Not worried about the challenge because we have the stone.
Surging tide. Be still. Welcome anguish.
I will die before the Merc takes another.
Please don't be. I am your darkness. I am your truth.
Play the Ravenous Butchers just to get him out of our hand.
Rise with the surf. Ride the surging tide. There's another one. Let the tide carry you.
At this point I do think we've won already,
Ride the surging tide.
but I'm gonna keep playing cards just in case I'm not remembering something they have.
Ride the surging tide. Let the tide carry you.
Really can't see how they would win though,
Rise with the surf.
or stop this attack at all.
Frailty.
Reel him in.
Feel my pain. Our suffering is not in vain.
We'll take more Ransom Riches. Power Riff is what I've been looking for. And then we get rid of our Ransom Riches. And we go into Nautilus, whose power is All Will Drown. When any unit dies, heal the foe's Nexus 3, and the foe toss is 1 if they aren't deep. So 3 is new. Usually they heal the Nexus 1. Should have removed that guy for a Burblefish. Or, you know, to try for one at least. I think I'm gonna pass. He's definitely gonna play a card. Drop Morgana for the stun.
Embrace the current
Drop
and be
Nami.
swept away.
I think this is okay.
Before the Merc takes another.
Please don't be reckless.
because we are in Chemtech, so this will give us some champions. As long as one of them is Nami, that's a lot of spells we can play.
I will save my people.
I should have targeted one of the units to trigger dated.
Rise with the surf. Let the tide carry you. Ride the surging tide. You leave me no other choice.
And as our opponent has no mana, 100 damage should be more than sufficient to win. And so we do. And that is the Nautilus adventure, Titan of the Depths. That's a 4-star Titans of Runeterra adventure. This is Nami, 3 stars, no epic relics. Again, it's easier with Echoing Spirit. I might actually still go this build instead of the Hymn of Valor build, because Hymn of Valor doesn't give you quite as much healing, it just wins. Though if you do get extra mana, you'll be able to do that probably on round 1, but otherwise round 3. You might also switch out Hidden Tome for Dreadway Chase Gun, so you have 2 spells to start with. And then you can drop Hymn of Valor, hopefully, because you need to do 2 Dreadway, any other spell, and then Hymn of Valor, and then your Nami should be sufficiently large to win the game on turn 1. That would lose against Minotaur Reckoner, because you'd get stunned and then that would happen. So I kind of like this build because the Chemtech Duplicator plus Grand General's Counterplan does allow you to have near infinite healing. Obviously Chameleon's Necklace is a straight downgrade to Echoing Spirit, so you're going to want Echoing Spirit if you have that. But if you don't, you can do this. It is an option. And the only time where we had any problem was the time where I forgot how to play the game. So, yeah, just don't forget how to play the game, and you should be fine. Switch this back to alphabetical. Let's go to Needly. I'm not going to do this right now, but I do want to see what the next adventure holds for us. So 40 Nasus fragments, so that's enough between this and the 2-star and 3-star adventures to get both Nasus and Nautilus to 3 stars from nothing. So that's nice. I'm not sure what the next adventures give us, but we will find out later. Anyway, that is all for now. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.